right, it says we're live. So, okay. Welcome from the crossroads of America. 1 hour talk show, shooting with disabilities. Sorry, my phone just went off. Sorry, we talk about guns, politics, or anything else that crosses my mind. Answer questions from the audience. Just put it in the mail, in the chat, email. I'm messing this totally up. We'll answer questions from the audience either in the chat or by email at rickslife@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. I got a Patreon page, PayPal, and all that other good stuff in the info section below. So we got that done. Let's see. First in the room tonight, I believe, was Kingpin. Then Patriot in the Dark, then Buck. Sabrina's here. Kevin in New York. Defense Dad, Raphael. So people starting to show up. Let me introduce my panel. I've got my man from New York Outcast. How you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having me. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Okay, then we got the man from up near Motor City, Squibload.
Hey.
All right. Then we got the other Michiganite. Is that what you call yourselves? Patriot in the Dark.
Well, hello, New Year's. Happy backwards.
Yes.
And who let him in the room?
He snuck in.
I found the key out here.
You know, so
we're going to start off by talking about this rainbow belt that Squib just got.
New York Outcast got one.
It's not a rainbow.
Oh, it's color. Okay.
New York Outcast got a rainbow one too. You know, so I don't know what they're telling me here.
Squib's a good guy.
You guys are just jealous you're not in the club.
I haven't talked to him since last year.
Patriot, you got a coffee belt on its way.
I bet.
Yeah, so
don't be jealous.
Now, how come
I congratulate
you? Getting a lot of damn trolls lately. I'm not that popular, but I seem to be getting them every show now.
Hey, it's good.
You know?
Yeah, that's how you get popular.
So, okay. So, I mean, I was thinking today's cold. It's been one of the cold. It's getting cold now. We got forecast due. In the forecast, we got snow due tonight or tomorrow morning, but nothing to talk about. Absolutely. I mean, originally it was 4 inches about 3 days ago. Then it went down to 2 inches. Then when I looked about a couple hours ago, we're down to maybe an inch. You know, but that's plenty of snow for me. But the thing is, problem is it will more likely hang around, even though it's only going to be a dusting. It more likely sit all day because it's not meant to get very warm tomorrow at all. So you know, but that's what do you expect? It's wintertime. You know, but I noticed, I know it's getting cold because my hands and the rest of my joints are hurting, you know? So the only thing not hurting this winter is my right hip because that's brand new. Well, actually, it'd be a year ago at the end of this month, believe it or not, because it was January 28th I had that new hip put in. So, it's amazing how fast time flies.
I hope you're going to be chasing Bigfoot by the next anniversary.
Oh, I plan on doing that this week, this summer, this winter. I mean, even this spring. I know he's out there. I know he's out there. You know, because thousands of people who have seen it all cannot be lying. That's all I'm saying.
Any of your neighbors have dogs that just kind of roam around the neighborhood?
Do what?
Do any of your neighbors have dogs that just kind of roam around the neighborhood?
No.
Damn.
No, most of them
Safe.
are chained up or whatever, or held in kennels and stuff. Most of the dogs around here are hunting dogs.
Okay. Doesn't say, to help, you could just stick a pack of bologna in your pocket and go take a walk if he did. And you'll be getting in shape real quick.
Yeah. No, but I plan on going to do some searching out there in the woods. But we'll see. Anyway, that's, well, I mean, I was my back is hurting me today too, and I don't know why, unless it's the cold weather. I haven't lifted anything today heavy. I can't think. I'm trying to think, did I lift anything wrong today? I don't. Twist it somehow, but I mean, it's hurting. My back hurts all the time, but it hurts more than normal tonight for some unknown reason. But
have you been shooting this year?
This year, no. It's only it's the 5th of no. I haven't shot this year yet. Oh, but I do have a. I was wrong on my friend's backyard. I thought that it only went to around 115 yards, but he actually moved the target over slightly, and he's backed it up. The furthest we can go right now is 130 yards, and he's got an 8-inch still target sitting at 130 yards. So, which I'm pretty pumped about having to go at when it warms up a little while. I got to get me a scope though, or a magnifier. I'm leaning towards a scope for my AR. To be quite honest with you, because if I'm going to get a magnifier, it's going to have to be one that will magnify it like a scope. Is basically what I'm looking for.
Well, you shoot at that target there at 115 yards or whatever with your buddy's rifle, right?
Yeah.
And he's got a scope?
Yep.
And do you have problems with the eye relief?
Nope.
Would it take you a long time to acquire a target quick in your driveway?
Do what?
Would it take you a long time to acquire a target quickly in your driveway?
No.
Say, somebody followed you home from Bigfoot hunting with banjos playing and they want to take you for a good time. All right. Well, then maybe the scope's an ideal thing. Then something similar to what your friend has, if you can actually use it quickly, because that seems to be any problem with people with stigmatisms or any of that, with the issues of getting a good gosh, I can't even think of the term now, but basically scopes can get a little tricky, but if you're able to do that and get it quickly, then go for it, because that was the only reason I initially stated you should go for the magnifier, because you had the eye relief problem from what you stated in the past. So if you can't get on your rifle quick and comfortably, in my opinion, it's no good unless it's just a target rifle or whatever. But if you only got one, and that's the one you're going to defend your home with, then you're going to want to be able to get on target quick.
That's
well, couldn't you get
the point? Who said I'm going to defend my home with an AR?
I don't know. It depends what you're using it for, but I believe those words have come out of your mouth in the past on this very show.
About eye relief?
If they ever come for you, then that's what you're using.
Could you use the 45-degree offset iron sights if you have a scope and you needed to get something close, or is that I don't know, but
I haven't even looked at turning my sights at an angle yet. You know?
yeah, it's just something else to look at.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. But I don't plan on using my AR for home defense. That's what a pistol's for. You know? So if you can't hit
Yeah.
your target with a pistol, then you might as well just give up.
You fucking fud.
Who?
Depends on your line of thinking.
Who's a fuck?
Statistically, most people shot with a pistol live. So, yeah, anybody coming in that's hardened a little bit, your odds are going to get even lower. So,
Yeah. So if you can't, no. Yeah, to me, I'll defend my home with a pistol. My AR is for one. It's for when I see them coming over the hill. You know, then I can stop them further away. But if they're at my home, it's pistol because I can hit what I'm. You know, I can hit what I'm aiming at. I can hit what I'm aiming at with a rifle too, but I don't need a rifle to hit what I'm aiming at. If you know what I mean, I can do it with a pistol. If you guys can't, you need to get to the range more.
for the record, I don't think there's any technical right or wrong. You know,
No, I don't either.
Everybody would be a little different, and some people, like myself, I have a cocktail of things. So depends how many beeps I get or whatever the case is. But you know, so I don't think there's a right or wrong. It's what works best for you, you know, to defend your family. So don't take it wrong if you are go for a pistol or if you go for a shotgun or God forbid you go for a baseball bat.
Yep. Yeah. So that's I know
Just go for something.
I've always been, you know, for home defense, I've always been I've always been a pistol guy, you know, and that's the way I was going to keep it. You know, hey,
If
I
you
mean,
send your wife out to investigate, you got to turn in your man card.
You know, well, no, wives are disposable. You know, I don't
thought
have a
there'd be a
wife, so I
joke or
don't have
two
that.
on that one.
I will not be put in that dilemma of making their choice. You know? Okay. Anyway.
I got something before Squib runs off.
Yeah.
Because he usually gets busy and all that stuff. Well, he had brought up something of, I don't know, a year or two ago. I had replaced the grips on my Colt New Agent, the Compact 1911, with the aluminum grips. Right? They work great. I love them. They're aggressive, and I'm surely not going to drop this thing, right? But he had brought up, well, you're not going to use it while it's cold, right? And I never thought of that. And that ties into this next thing. Over Christmas Eve, I was at my father's farm and I brought the parrot ordinance and different things like that. But I went shooting and it was extremely wet and cold and windy. And by, about 45 minutes to hour into it, yeah, it was hard reloading magazines, because I wasn't wearing gloves. Because, I mean, honestly, if you just walk out to your car, you don't have gloves on. And if I walk to a car, I have problems. But, but yeah, so that was something that came up because I did shoot it and it was extremely cold, let alone, shooting the aluminum grips. So just something to throw out there since Squib brought it up, and I actually was able to test it out. And yeah, it was pretty bitter with no gloves. And that was with the wood grips. So Just throwing it out there. So thanks, Squib.
There
That's
you
it.
go.
That's all I got.
All right.
And that parrot ordinance is nice.
So why didn't you
And
wear
thanks again,
gloves?
Squib, for that too.
Why
What's
didn't
that?
you wear? Why didn't you wear gloves?
Because I'm not a woman.
Okay.
Hi, Sabrina. I know you're out there. Hello.
Yeah.
I
Or
wear
you know,
gloves.
Rob. You know, I'm not
Well,
Rob.
I'm not a
Hey,
woman. I wear
hey,
gloves.
You,
Yeah, well, that's what I
hey,
said. You know,
he
or
made his
Rob.
point. He made his point, Rob. You
No,
wear.
it's,
Hey,
I wear, yes, I wear gloves if I'm working outside or I'm going to do something, but you know, just running out or just running out to the mailbox, no, I don't have gloves on. And if you know, situations happen,
and he
I'm
doesn't
sure
wear.
you're outside when it's cold and you don't have gloves on.
And he doesn't wear a rainbow buckle either.
So I'm just saying
Nor
there is
do I.
times that you're going to be outside and your fingers are numb, you know, let alone if you're, you know, where you're all amped up and wanted to shoot and your fingers are cold. So
Yeah, that I
there's some
mean,
things to think about since it's cold outside.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
Some-
you're right. I mean, we talked about this before. I mean, normally this time of year is when I go shooting. I'll normally wear, normally what I'll wear is I'll wear my my compression gloves. I know they're not for heat, but it makes my hands feel better when it's so cold out there. You know.
Yeah. But if you were driving up to Deb's, would you put your gloves on?
If my truck's not warmed up, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I have a couple of sets of gloves in my truck. But normally when I'm driving, I don't wear gloves. Unless
Yeah,
it's got to be minus something before I put gloves on, really. You know.
yeah. If I'm out in the garage and stuff, I'll use like mechanics gloves, you know, super thin ones, because I'm not,
Yeah.
you know, and it's, you know, always turn on the heat if it gets too cold. But just out, you know, walking to the mailbox or doing anything like that, you know, it's you know, I usually have gloves with me, but it doesn't mean they're on because
Yeah.
I'm not 5.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. I mean, I don't wear gloves like if I'm just going out to the mailbox or anything like that either. But I said I wear those compression gloves when I go shooting normally in the wintertime because they don't keep my hands warm per se, but it makes my hands feel better, feel in compressed. And because like even right now as we're sitting here, my my hands and my fingers are hurt, with the arthritis in them. They ache. And the compression gloves seems to, like they tell you not to do it when your hands are really cold and you run them under warm water and they feel better. That's what the compression gloves do to my hands when they're hurting like this. It makes them feel better, So, Buck wants to know, does Rob's gloves match his rainbow belt? I don't know. Do they,
He's
Rob?
got the little clips
Rob?
that hold him to the sleeves, though.
Damn you, Buck. Damn you. It matches your sign. I'm shocked you guys don't have your gloves like clipped right to your jacket with the hat in the pocket and everything. I mean, come on. You got to be prepared for anything, all right?
Yeah. I have my talking about that. I have a clipped to my my look, he's carry a concealed vest that I wear. I have hearing protection in like one of those little army containers hooked onto one of my lapels I got hanging there.
Yeah. Yeah, I wear them often, not all the time, like Patriot's saying, going and actually I do wear gloves taking the garbage out. So yeah, I guess I can't say I don't, but just running out doing something, I don't wear them all the time, but definitely at work, things like that. But it's just transferring dirt from one product to another. It takes a lot more time to clean something off siding or somebody's walls than it does just to swap gloves out. And also, especially winter when I'm out shooting, like at the range or something, I'll definitely wear gloves. Outside, cold metals just suck the heat right out of you. So even with gloves, it's not great because, I've yet to find a glove that I'm 100% warm in negative temperatures and I can still pick a penny up with. I just, those gloves don't exist in my opinion, but there's some decent ones that at least keep the metal off your skin direct, and it buys you a little more time and comfort, in my opinion. And then again, it's very cold. You're loading ammo back and forth. Your hands get dirty. You get lead and shit on them. You hop back in your vehicle, touch your face, whatever, adjust your hat. You pop your gloves off. It's a lot less of an issue with transfer and cross contamination. So, I don't think it's a sissy thing. I think it's just smart. Avoid problems if you can.
All right. Oh, injured outdoorsman. Good to see you. I ain't seen you in a while.
Yes, sir. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Good to be on here.
Yeah. Well, we are talking about using gloves in cold weather for shooting or anything. According to Patriot in the Dark, men don't need gloves.
I just said you need to make sure that you can still hold on to it when it's cold and you don't have gloves. But
sure,
or something like that.
Some good stippling or something like that will definitely come in play in the winter, at least on a pistol or something like that.
Yeah. Vanessa in the chat says compression gloves in cold will further restrict blood flow into hands. Not good. I understand where you're coming from there, Vanessa. When I said I wear compression gloves, makes my hand. I didn't make. It might not be doing my hands any good. It might be restricting blood flow, but it might be psychological. But it makes my hands feel better. Like I said, if my hands are real cold, and you and you stick them in a sink full of hot water, they feel better. But you pull it's not doing them much good by doing that, especially if you got arthritis. But it makes it feel better. That's what I'm saying. The gloves, the compression. I wear compression gloves in the wintertime when I shoot. I said I don't know whether it's not keeping my hands warm. It just makes them feel better. I don't know why, but it just does. Because as I was saying, they hurt right now. They ache. And my thumbs, my thumb joints. Especially, right down the bottom of my thumb here on both of them, both my hands. God, they hurt like a son of a bitch right now. And thinking about it, as soon as this show's over, I'll be putting my compression gloves on just to sit around and watch TV. My hands are hurting so bad.
So I have kind of the opposite problem. I've got complex regional pain syndrome. It's a nervous system disorder in both legs from my knees down. And it can affect temperature and sensation and touch and stuff like that. And so when I used to go hunting, I used to wear, the Under Armour, Cold Gear, spandex type stuff.
Yeah.
And I can't stand anything tight against my legs anymore, my feet. Very nice New York Outcast. Saw that. But I can't stand anything compressing my legs anymore because they're extremely sensitive. And so I did go out and 2 years ago was the first time I hunted and really spent any time out in the cold after getting injured. and I had to go buy bibs to go over my pants, and that has helped me a lot. And I don't have to deal with the sensitivity of the compression on my legs.
Okay. All right. So, all right. I mean, so where are you at now? You still, have you moved?
I have, yeah. I am in sunny, warm South Carolina.
Okay.
So I was up north in Illinois for about a year and a half.
Yeah. Because you were getting treatment.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But I am doing a lot better now.
Great.
I'm not passing out. I'm on this new medication. It's pretty new to the market. But I was diagnosed with post-traumatic narcolepsy, and pain was putting me into kind of cataplexy. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I was passed out or cataplectic or whatever you want to call it, for up to 8 hours at a time, and I couldn't shower at home, by my alone. I couldn't go outside, because any spike of pain could send me and would send me into a flare up and pass out. And so, if I was outside in the South, I'd get sunburnt and dehydrated if I passed out, or if, in the wintertime, the opposite, would get cold. South Carolina's nice in that I'm not going to get frostbite or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm on this new medication that for 14 hours a day, it's stopping me from passing out. So,
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear it.
yeah, doing a
back
lot
to work.
better, and then a lot better pain wise as well.
Yeah. Is it can you like going shooting easier and stuff?
It does, yeah. Not so much on the wallet.
No.
It's maybe hurting the wallet a little bit. But no, I actually am driving again for the first time in about 2.5 years. So I've had a 86 Z28 Camaro in storage for
Yeah.
about 15 years. And prices on used vehicles are so high, or on any vehicles, are so high these days. I said, I've got a car in storage. I might as well use it.
What
So
color?
I got that shipped down here.
What color is it?
It is a black Z28, 1986 Camaro, black and silver.
Is it the motor original, or you done anything with it?
It is original. It's got a 305 in it. And it's only got 56,000 original miles on it.
Okay. Had some friends that were into them that used to love messing with the Fox body Mustangs, but honestly, they put some work into them.
Sure.
But nice cars, though.
Oh, yeah.
Really nice looking when they're done right.
Oh, yeah. The 80s weren't good for muscle cars because they had the EPA regulations that came out, and vehicle technology, which just didn't keep up. So the 80s were a bad year for stock muscle cars. And if you want any power out of them, you're better off dropping in a new crate 350 or something. Because out of my 305, I'm only pushing 190 horsepower.
All right. I mean, I'm not a big car guy myself, but I understand where you're coming. I understand what you're saying. But yeah, in 1980s, yeah, most cars, American cars, sucked. To be honest with you.
Yeah, in the 70s, I mean that was the golden years of muscle cars.
Yeah.
but then the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, put on all these regulations and really neutered the muscle car industry.
Oh, yeah.
It was a few years, well, probably it was some years back, but a friend of mine he had one of those, can't think of the year, but he swapped the motor with a crate motor from AutoZone, and the car was nasty. I mean, he added a few other bolt-ons and stuff, but it was pretty nasty. I believe he swapped it with like the 350, so he ended up blowing it up, but that's just because that's the kind of guy he is. But it was definitely respectable for not a lot of money, and I think he got that engine for like $650, brand new.
Oh wow,
That's
awesome.
crazy. Yeah. At the same time, I was looking for an Integra engine, and they were starting at like 2,200, and it's literally like half the size. I'm like, what the hell, you know?
Yeah, good luck finding a crate 350 now for under $8,000.
The top times have changed. It had to be maybe 10 years back or so, a little bit, but yeah, it's amazing how the prices used to be, and versus foreign and American too. So it's pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, but
in the 80s, you had a bunch of guys that learned how to work on cars in the garage in the backyard with dad and grandpa. Everything was carburation and points and things like that. You didn't need to go to school. You didn't need special tools. And the technology was pretty much the same for decades. And then fuel injection comes along. Now, fuel injection had existed for quite some time, but it was more an aviation thing, really, than a passenger car thing. And you got a bunch of good old boys who have no idea how to use a meter or how any of this stuff works. And they think it's impossible to work on, and this damn thing's too hard to fix, and this, that, and the other. And it was a lot easier to just have a carbureted V8 that was older, that you could work on, that you could tweak, tune, and do whatever, as opposed to some of the crap that they did put on some of those V8 engines in order to deal with emissions or fuel economy or things like that. Now, I think the smaller engines in the 80s actually had an advantage because they had a lot of power for their size compared to, if you look at the time, not today. If you compare a four-cylinder from 1980 to a four-cylinder from 2020, no, apples and oranges. But I'm saying at the time, small engines like that didn't make that sort of power and didn't get that sort of fuel economy. And they had a lot more potential as far as tweaking them. I would have rather had a Camaro with a V6 than a Camaro with a V8 in the 80s if I was going to go stock. Now, if I was going to modify it, that's something else. And then once again, you've got a bunch of people who have no idea how to work on computer command and control, fuel injection, distributorless ignition, all of these things coming out, and they have no idea how to fix them. So it's all crap to them. And that proceeded on into the 90s. It was well into the 90s before you started to get a new generation of techs out there that actually went to school and learned how to use this stuff. And if you understand how to use it, it's really not that hard to take some of that stuff they put on there and find a way to deal with it, to bypass it, or to make it, to tune it a little bit better, or work it this way or work it that way, and get more out of it. Now, compared to a modern version of that same car, once again, it's apples to oranges. You will never, unless you want to pull the motor out of a modern car and drop it in a car from the 80s and give it all those advantages. But at that time, there were a lot of good cars out there. It's just people thought they were shit because they didn't know how to work on them. Now, I'm not saying that there weren't some bad designs out there. There were some clunkers. There were some cars that they were trying to use the same parts in this car that they're using in that part, and that's kind of normal in automotive manufacturing in general. But it just wasn't fitting. Or they had cars that even the engineering involved in it, the engineers hadn't really caught up with the technology and things like that. So it was a transitional time there where we were getting out of all of this, I can fix it with the same tools my grandpa fixed it with, to now you need to know what you're doing to work on cars. And I think that kind of gave them a bad name, in addition to some of the business deals that went on in the 80s, Or once again, you've got somebody who was in diapers in the 80s, looking at a car from the 80s going, oh, it's boxy, it's clunky. But back in the 80s, boxy and clunky was the thing. You know, if you take a modern Camaro and your 86 Camaro, I know all about the 86 Camaro. Dude, it's a nice-ass car. It is. But if you compare it to the modern Camaro, the only advantage it really has on it is it's got a spare tire. You know, other than that, you know, but once again, if you're looking at it going, yeah, but now the computers and everything, then, you know, instead of having one computer, it's got 3 or 4 or whatever it is. That's stuff where you've got to keep up with the times in order to be able to manipulate it. But all that stuff can be manipulated, and you can even stay within emissions. You can increase the horsepower on the vehicles, or you can do other things to tune it where you get better fuel economy and things like that and still pass emissions. But you just have to know how to use it. And that was one of the bigger problems I saw back in the 80s and 90s.
I think they overcomplicated things. So, yeah, I know Rick probably doesn't want to turn this into the car show, but
Well, I don't.
personally, I think in general, as a whole, you know, people are too spoiled, too much luxury. They overcomplicated vehicles. Not saying we can't go the fuel injection or electronic ignition, but I think there should still be basic options out there, like some of the basic line work trucks. Like I don't think they need the shit or the stuff that's in some of these. You know, I don't know. I just
Best option ever was the wood trim in my 85 SSL Camino. I loved it.
Nice.
Self-sufficiency and being able to handle stuff yourself should be still an American way of life, in my opinion. So, not that the other way can't be done, but let's face it, brand new brakes or rotors nowadays don't last half as long as your old ones did, but they're damn near the same price. So it's like some of the older parts last. It's simple. They don't cost. A caliper I just bought the other day cost me $25 for a 95. You know, try doing that for a 2015 or anything. See what a caliper is going to cost you. You know, it's total different apples and oranges. But you know, I can personally go without some of the luxuries. I wouldn't even use them. So why pay for them? And states are different on what they'll pass. You know, here, if you got a light on, you don't pass. Other states, they could care less, or you don't even have an inspection, so it doesn't matter to you. But in general, I think they made shit too. They should have the basic and then the 30 computers in your car model for people.
Yeah, mine.
Crank windows don't break.
The computer command and control that they had in the 80s and 90s was really not hard to work on at all. It's very simple compared to the stuff they've got today. But even the stuff they've got today, you've got to stay up with it. If you fall a couple years behind, you're not going to be able to work on the newest thing very well. But back then, that was really easy. The OBD1 systems were easy to work on. They really were.
Mine was the first year. 86 was the first year with tune port injection.
That was that Crossfire system, right?
You know, I don't know enough.
The back-to-back throttle bodies.
Probably. But you know, at this point, you probably know more than I do. You know, I mainly drove it as in high school as a rubber burner, and then I put it in storage once I graduated high school. You know, I'd shut down everyone with Honda Civics or Mitsubishi Eclipses or whatever, you know, with 4 bangers. But I didn't
buddy.
I didn't get too much into the mechanical side of things. So you probably know more about it than I do. I just know that the 86 was the first year with the tune port injection.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize you stopped talking. I wasn't paying attention. I lost it hours ago. Anyway, what I wanted, didn't you want to complain about SHOT Show?
Yeah, but if it's going to bore the hell out of you, I'll just stay quiet.
No, the car chat was boring me to tears. I said I like cars, but I'm not into them. You know,
It's like the anti mac and cheese thing.
you know,
Rick.
you know. I mean, you can love mac and cheese all you want. I don't have to. Yeah. So.
Embrace America, buddy.
Yeah. All right.
Rick's more into lorries.
You know. I prefer the bonnet and the boot on my car. You know. So. All right. I mean, no. Before we started, Squid did want to talk about SHOT Show, but he's mad at me now. So. No. Anyway, no. It was getting off topic. In my opinion. You know. I don't know, how the hell did we get on the cars anyway? That's all your fault, Injured Outdoorsman.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Well, yeah, what was it? Sig pulled out a SHOT Show a while ago. Everybody knows that. And now just today, Sig pulled out a while ago. Well, today it was just publicly announced, supposedly, that Beretta did. So, which obviously includes Benelli, a couple other runoffs as well. So, but you know.
So, do you think SHOT Show is going to be canceled at the last?
I don't know. Who knows? So, supposedly the people that are putting SHOT on say they're going to run it. Not guaranteed or whatever, but local officials could shut it down. You never know these days. So, if I was going, I dang sure wouldn't have, booked anything that can't be refunded. I'll put it that way. And I'd state that for anything nowadays. So every other month it's, this or that again. So why lose money, if you can't do things. But in general, I don't know if the show goes on, I would say, another cancellation probably won't affect things too much. So I've never been, but from what I hear, there's hundreds of thousands of companies. So if, a handful don't show up, what's the difference, really? I mean, if Smith and Wesson pulls out, then there's no point in going. You save your money. Ain't no point, man.
See, you're going to have some people on YouTube that are 2A gun, whatever, that are going to say don't crap all over SHOT Show. But I crap all over SHOT Show. Now, I crap over SHOT Show not really for what it is, because I get it, all right? You have to be a certain kind of person to get invited. If they wanted to invite the general public, they'd get mobbed and you couldn't do business. It is a trade show. That's what it is. It is a trade show. It is not for the public. They have shows that are for the public all the time. Yeah, you may have to pay admission or pay an annual membership fee, but it's not like SHOT Show where it's like an exclusive club to get in there. And the trade shows are the same thing as SHOT Show, except you're not necessarily as likely to do those business deals. And you have a whole bunch of YouTubers that like to go down there and they like to turn this into their big chance, their shot to make it. And they are so obnoxious about it. SHOT to me, if I took the acronym SHOT, it would be shilling overtime. That's what SHOT is to me. I'm going to ask my audience to pay. I'm going to ask my audience to pay for me to travel there because I'm not man enough to pay my own bills, even though it's a tax write-off. Then I'm going to go there. I'm going to spend the week at the show. Oh, yeah, I might do some fun stuff here or there, but I'm going to make sure that I post stuff on social media and make sure that most of the videos I publish for the next 3 months about SHOT Show are like, hi, look at me. I got to go to SHOT Show and you didn't. Oh, and by the way. And then, you know what? 99.99% of those deals that you work out with these companies fall through. They disappear. They don't return your calls. They don't return your messages. Sure, there might be some people that you see every year. Hey, you know, so and so or whatever. Some of us, you know, actually genuinely make relationship with some people, and sometimes it's like, oh yeah, is Jerry here? Oh, he quit last year. Oh, okay, whatever. And it's, you know, and it's nice to get out there and see some of the new stuff, but they're not going there to share it with their audience. They're going there to make a whole bunch of videos in one trip. If I can go 1 week and make 150 videos, this is time management. This is a business. That's what it is. But yet they don't come off and say, I'm going here because this is my business. I'm going here because I'm trying to make it big. I'm going here because I want to make money. I'm going here because I'm trying to get a sponsor. I'm trying to get free shit. No, what they do is they make it sound like they're going for you who can't go there. But that's not the way they act. And that's not what they're going there for. And I think I would like to see some more transparency from these YouTube channels, no matter how big or how small they are, about why they're going and what they're doing, and quit being so condescending with everybody about, I get to go and you don't. You know, I'm not jealous. Don't get me wrong. I'd like to do SHOT Show once just to say I did it, but it's really no different than any of the other trade shows. And in some ways, other than the general public's not invited. And once again, I don't think the general public should be. But I think people are misrepresenting themselves by the big deal they make over SHOT Show, and it just gets so irritating. Sure, I'd love to see you know, somebody do an interview with a company and they show something that they're not showing in their ads or in their marketing, or maybe able to answer some questions, clarify some things, or, you know, something that's useful, but not when it's just, hi, watch me kiss ass, because that's what you're going to see.
But wait a minute. SHOT Show is about firearms? I thought it was showgirls.
Yeah, mind you though.
Wait a minute, they got girls there?
Not?
there is a couple of YouTubers who somehow got past all the stuff to be what it, because you're going in, because as a YouTuber you're going in as media. There's some that have gone in as media, and they don't do a goddamn thing except to look at all the new guns, which they could do at a regular trade, you know, at a regular show. Like, for argument, use the word for the NRA show, because you get the exactly same guns at the NRA as you do as that the trade is getting at SHOT Show. And there's some YouTubers that go just to look at the new guns and don't do a goddamn thing. I think their credentials should be taken away from them, in my opinion. But,
well, I don't want to support the NRA. You know, they've been a crap show forever. But you know, recently here, it's come more and more to light. So I'd rather give my money to SHOT than to the NRA annual meeting.
But you don't give your money to SHOT. You don't pay admission. You don't go there and go, hey, I'd like 2 tickets to go in. They'd be like, where are your credentials? Do you own a gun store? Are you a manufacturer? You know, back in the day, the media pass wasn't for some half-ass YouTuber trying to make their channel big overnight, which doesn't work, by the way. Okay? It was for people who wrote articles in Guns and Ammo. That's what the media pass was for. The media pass has been, I guess, I don't exploited, or that's not even the right word. Okay. It's not what it was meant to be. And you got all these people, and then you hear the stories. They're so bitter about this person cut them off and they couldn't this and they couldn't that. Dude, it was never meant for 1,000 YouTubers to show up with their cameras and try to make a quick buck. That's not what it's meant for.
I do think it's bullcrap that Vortex pulled out, Sig pulled out, and now today supposedly you know, Beretta's pulling out. You know, my cousins own a very small AR manufacturing shop and gunsmithing shop up in Wisconsin, and they, you know, they've been spending a ton of extra hours and stuff like that, and we're gonna go, or are going, to SHOT Show this year.
Well, that's what it's meant for.
And yeah, I mean, this was their big break, and if it gets canceled or enough big companies pull out, you know, it's going to be worthless. And you know, the my cousin's company's, kind of on that make it or break it point. And they were banking on SHOT Show. And so if, enough big manufacturers pull out or it gets canceled altogether, they're screwing over countless little guys who are counting on SHOT Show.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily see the big guys pulling out a bad thing if, you are a little guy, because then, I mean, statistically, you're probably likely to get more traffic. Because keep in mind, the big guys, again, I haven't been there, but from what I heard, you don't just walk up and they're like, hey, what's up? And, you got to kind of schedule times and stuff for any kind of interviews, things like that. And the big guys usually have a crap load of people that are busy. And a lot of people, from what I hear, complain because they'll wait for 10, 15 minutes and burn up time just trying to speak to somebody at those tables. So if that is true, then if there's less of them, then that's more people going by the little guy.
No, because those people, if the big guys pull out, those people who are going there to do business won't go. They'll go directly to the big.
But it depends. Is it all the big guys or what?
And deal with them direct.
Maybe, but I'm sure a
Guaranteed.
lot of people like to go there for the after parties. I mean, nobody wants to talk about that, but there's definitely after parties. There's definitely hangouts, and there's times people come home with the same sickness. So, your guess is as good as mine, but it's not all business, I wouldn't say. And if some company is going to pay you to go have a good time,
I mean, but that's where a lot of the business is done at those parties too. They have.
Yeah, except of course for last year, my local dealer was going out to SHOT Show every year, and inventory would be kind of basic and kind of thin, and he'd go out there and hook up with the right connections, and within a month or so of SHOT Show, the inventory is just incredible. More choices, different manufacturers. His gun store's really grown from each trip out there every year. Not particular on his behind the scenes of his business, but I just see the benefit in the store from him going out there at SHOT over the last few years.
I don't think if SHOT Show went away that the firearms industry would just collapse. I don't think that would happen. And I don't want SHOT Show to go away. I'm not saying that I don't want it to happen or that I want it to go away. And I'm not saying that I don't want the YouTuber that's desperate. It's just desperate right now to miss out on their chance. I'm just saying I don't want to hear about it, because every year you hear about this crap. Not just that, okay, last year when it got canceled and everybody lost their crap, it was a mess. But in the years where it doesn't get canceled, just all the stuff you hear, all the build up to it, all the hype afterward, and then when you watch the videos, you're just there going, "Damn, dude, don't even try to hide it," So I'm just not interested. I've actually not watched certain channels for months on end because they're just I'm like, damn, really? This goes back to the whole tacky versus tasteful.
Yeah, well, is that I mean, I know where you're coming from there, Squib. Sometimes I feel the same, but then Gizzard Gary out in the chat's going, I've never asked for a dime from my audience for me to go to SHOT. No. So he didn't like that comment of yours there, Squib. So
I don't really care. I really don't care. And I'm not going to say anything else.
I would say there's one or two that do a half-ass decent job of it out there, but to a certain degree, I agree with Squib. A majority of them out there trying to. There's a one big time to make it to the big time, and look at me, But
I have seen some videos where they're with a smaller company and they're talking about a product that nobody's ever heard of. This is the first year it's out. This isn't making the cover of American Rifleman or Guns and Ammo or it's not on the 1.5 million sub GunTube channel, or gun channel freaking thing where I got this 6 months in advance because I'm me and you're not, and I'm going, hey, that's kind of neat. I would have never known about that if there wasn't a video like this. Those are the videos I want to tune in to watch, not watch somebody just start sucking ass right there in front of the camera.
Yeah.
It just doesn't interest me.
Oh, I mean, I like those kind of ones too, But unfortunately, sometimes you click on it and it's same old BS. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't have the credentials to go, and some of my YouTube, I like to call them friends or acquaintances or whatever, go, and and they
if you put people on the spot, then they're gonna remember you, and not in a good way, and then you won't get invited back, and all the deals are out the window. So you got to be a politician in there. It's what I'm assuming. Some of these guys are thinking. So, but at the same time, I'm kind of with Squib. I'd like to hear real things about the company, or everybody's gonna hate this, but a while ago I used to watch some Hank Strange. Not anymore. Don't get me going, but the one thing that he did do kind of cool, somebody else brought up recently somewhere, was when he did do interviews with people, he'd say, well, how does your company support 2A? And a lot of companies were kind of dumbfounded. I don't see nothing wrong with that personally. That's what I'd like to see, because I kind of vote with my dollar, so I'd much rather buy an item that's on the same track as me than give my money to somebody I'm going to be spending other money to fight later.
No, you can't ask that question on camera, Outcast, because then you'll hurt your brand.
Well, I can, because I don't care, but, but that's why I'm not going. But but it'd be nice if other people did do something in some way, something like that. I would say a little something different than what do you have to show for us today? Because you can go to any company video and watch that. Personally, I don't know. So again, I don't knock on anybody what they're doing in a sense, whatever. As long as you don't abuse people, I don't find fraud, theft, shit like that funny in any shape or form. But everybody's got different tastes. But it's just I'd like to see more real interaction myself than just look at this shiny thing to buy.
One quick thing, I'm gonna have to jump off of here. My wife is calling.
Okay.
But one thing to Squib's point, I think the media, especially over the past 10 years or so, has switched more from the Guns and Ammo magazine and American Rifleman and stuff like that to more YouTube. And unfortunately, like, everyone and their mom has jumped on the YouTube train, and there's 60 videos about 6 new products on SHOT Show, but no one is interviewing the small guy, which is unfortunate. But I'm not here to argue. I just wanted to put my 2 cents in.
Oh yeah, totally. That's what we're here for.
But yeah. Well, one last thing in closing, if I could put in a plug, Ox Firearms. That's my cousin's shop.
I've heard of them. I don't know where. Maybe it was you before.
Probably me.
Yeah.
But they make really high-end, really tight tolerances, and extremely lightweight rifles. So if you're interested in something like that, their website's oxfirearms.com.
And they're going to be at SHOT Show if it goes on.
Yep, they're planning to.
Okay.
And the Safari Club or something going on at the same time. So it's going to be a busy time for them. But like I said, they're at kind of a make it or break it point. And so they're hoping for what SHOT Show is supposed to be, and that's an industry show, and where you make deals and stuff with the dealers that are there. So hopefully they can make some deals out there.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I appreciate it. I appreciate you stopping by. I really
Yes, sir.
do. It's good to see you again.
Likewise. Hope to see you guys next week.
Okay. Talk to you soon.
Alrighty. Bye.
Okay. So we're now. How many Patriot in the Darks do we need in this room? We got 2 right now. One of them's real and one of them's fake.
He just loves pushing buttons. I swear, the guy's like a 12-year-old.
Who are we talking about?
Patriot.
Oh,
he's got to just sit there and touch all the buttons.
yeah,
he's
he does.
the kind of guy he is.
One is never enough.
Yeah. So, have you picked up your new firearm yet, Jason?
No, it won't be this month.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So, we got on the SHOT Show and got that taken care of. So I mean, I agree. I mean, but maybe it's the devil advocate I'm trying to play here. Now, a good example is Springfield Armory must have sent out the Hellcat to, it seemed like 25, 30 people to test it and everything and get it out there. Right? And you see all these YouTube channels doing a video on the Hellcat. Now, the difference between YouTube and your, like your Guns and Ammo magazine and shit like that is this YouTube channel's only got 100,000 followers. This one's got, 1 million. This one's only got 10,000. Now, so you're saying all those ones are watching each other's channel? Or is there an audience out there that the one who has 100,000, somebody who's only got 10,000, some of his subscribers don't subscribe to the 100,000 one?
That may be true, and I guess it just depends on the channel. I'm not saying a YouTube or social media isn't the new media that we're always hearing about, right? It is. I get that. All right. Not very many people have a paper magazine delivered to your home, although you can have it sent electronically through email. But I'm saying that's what the media pass was created for in SHOT Show. It wasn't for a bunch of guys that are freaking bumming a ride to Las Vegas and trying to create, I'll say the word, content and tell their viewers that they're doing it for them when they're really doing it for themselves. I understand that they've got to send out products to multiple people because maybe one reaches an audience that the other doesn't, or what have you, and they can't necessarily just send to the 5 top guys. Although I'm sure there's probably some companies out there that do that. I've been approached by companies about their product, and I've turned down pretty much all of them because of the terms in which they wanted me to review their product, or the questions they refused to answer, or just the fact that it was, let's just put it this way. I would be dishonest to my audience, which is like 38 people, and I would be dishonest to myself if I did reviews on those products. So I'm not saying I'm Mr. Big Shot, YouTuber stuff, but I know enough stuff. I've been involved in enough stuff. I know enough stuff. As a viewer and as somebody who does what you do and knows what you know, I don't like the lack of transparency. I'd rather somebody be honest. I really would rather somebody be honest than just shill themselves out. So the only thing I can do is speak my mind. And if it's on this show and you say, hey, don't ever say that again, then I wonder, it's your show. I got my own channel. I can make my own videos, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
I can just not watch their videos. And they're going to say, don't watch. There's 10,000 other MFers that are watching right now. I don't need your view. And they're right. They're absolutely right. But when they start making something that I want to watch, or something where they're showing more integrity, more transparency, then I'll come back and watch, or something like that. It's just like why I only have 38 people watching my videos, because I don't make the stuff everybody else makes. I could go out to the range and do a mag dump at point blank range in the steel and go look at me and get 10,000 views, just like everybody. I don't want to do that. I'm not saying that's wrong. That's just not what I want to do. So I'm always going to be the little channel with nobody. I know that I'm not jealous of any of these guys. Like I said, one day I'll do SHOT Show once just to do it. But it's really not going to be, for me, it's not going to be any different than any of the other trade shows. Because when I go there, I'm talking shop with these guys because I'm talking shop with these guys because I'm in manufacturing too. I'm not talking shop with these guys hoping that this is my next big ride and then dragging the audience along for it. Of course, there's so many people that don't mind being dragged along for it. I'm just not a sheep. So maybe that's why. It's not just that I do what they do, so I look at it through different eyes. I'm just not a sheep.
I understand where you're coming from. I really do. Yeah. Mind you, I want to change the subject real quick because it's gone 8 o'clock and I'm about ready to call this quits. But I saw something the other day. Was it clickbait or whatever that your buddy James Yeager, he's got Lou Gehrig's disease? Did anybody see that?
No, I haven't heard that.
Go to it, and actually, I looked. He actually, I don't know if it's still up, but the other day he actually put up an actual. I saw it on something else. Then I went to his channel, and he actually had an actual video up about him having it. Because I don't know if anybody's noticed and anybody's seen him in the last few months. His tongue went numb on him, and he can't talk very well. But they said it's I can't remember the official name for Lou Gehrig's disease, but he's saying that's what he has. So I just thought I'll mention
the
it.
abbreviation for it is ALS, right?
Yes, that's what he says he has.
Yeah, but I don't know what
Has
ALS
his wife
stands
been
for.
STD tested?
Do what?
Has his wife been STD tested?
I don't know.
There just could be something funky going on. I don't know. He might want a second opinion.
Yeah, I know he was having trouble there with his.
But I just thought I'll mention it. I wasn't sure if anybody else heard about it. But
yeah, that's too bad. I hate to hear that, man. I really do.
Because it's one of those it's one of those things. There's no cure
for that. Yes.
Yeah. So
anyway,
I just thought I'd make sure that was on my mind about YouTubers.
Well, Lou Gehrig, what? He's not like the first person to have it. He was just like the most famous, right?
Yeah, at the time, what was it? Back in the 40s or whatever?
30s, 20s, 30s.
Yeah, because he was a first baseman for the New York Yankees.
You telling me they don't have a vaccination or cure for that yet?
No, not yet.
Damn, but
they got one for
they
got one for the COVID.
Yeah. All right, just checking.
Yeah. So I see your president Stu says it's my fault. It's still the unvaccinated's fault.
Yeah, the thing with Lou Gehrig, you ever see that movie that they did of him? His later years once he had it. I don't know. I think it was in the 80s, but that scene where he was in the bathtub and he kept yelling at him to pour hotter water and stuff in there. It was pretty bad. I don't know much about it, but I remember the movie. That shocked me as a kid.
Okay, MK Joe says he put out the video on January the 2nd. Yeager did. So. And Gizzard Gary said I can't even pronounce it. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis or something. I don't know how to pronounce it. He's got it written down in the chat. But I only know it. I mean, I only know it because the nickname for it is Lou Gehrig's disease because he, as you said, he was the most famous person at the time to have it. You know, so.
Well, yeah, man. I really do. I hate to hear that, man.
Yeah.
Whether you like James Yeager or you don't, I don't want anybody to be sick.
No, I don't either. I don't either. Not with something that's uncurable, you know. So, all right, guys, I'm going to go through the panel here for your shout outs and plugs. Been a good show. I've enjoyed it. And New York Outcast, you got anything?
Just check out R&L Displays if you're interested in a display stand. Other than that, I got a new video out on a Grip 6 belt, which is pretty cool. So, and not a rainbow for some of you weird people. But overall, for
have you got the socks?
No, I don't have socks. No.
I want to see if you wore holes in yours too.
Man, I don't know. Strange with those socks, in my opinion, but
yeah. I mean, no wonder you're getting holes in them. You're running through the cactus and shit. You know. I don't know if you watched the video or not.
Quality testing, man. What else you want?
Yeah, I don't know if he's climbing trees in his socks or what's going on out there, but he's up to something.
He's wearing a size 8 sock and a size 13 foot. It's going to make holes. Sorry, Squid.
Hey, Squid.
No, that's probably what we thought it was actually when I was talking with the marketing guy. So I bought a pair of socks that were the right size and wore a hole in those too. But the second pair of that particular style that I bought, but the third pair I wore, so far I've been writing down every day I wash them, what kind of detergent I use, and then the day I wear them and what I was doing. Was I at work? Was I hunting? What was I doing? And so far they haven't. But here's the thing. Unlike somebody shilling, I'm actually showing, look, these things wore out, okay? That sort of thing. If the socks turn out to be something where they shrink up too much, they wear out too fast, that sort of thing, you're not going to hear me say, buy this sock anyhow or cover it up. I'm going to say, they make a really good wallet and a good belt, but maybe not so much on the socks. But I'm not there yet. I'm still evaluating. As a matter of fact, they gave me 2 different styles of socks to try out, and they were factory seconds. I said, I don't want you giving me a bunch of stuff. And I left that place with like I want to say around $120 or $150 worth of free stuff. I didn't ask for any of it. They're shoving it in my hands, right? Everything else I paid for out of my own pocket. And what's that?
I said, shit, I want to take a tour then.
Okay, drive out to Salt Lake City or fly if you'd rather. But the whole point being is that everything else I've paid for, and I don't mind paying for, because I'm doing reviews on the stuff from the standpoint of I'm a working class guy, I'm a physical kind of guy, and this is working class stuff. A middle class person can afford this stuff, but also it's made in America, and I don't mean half-ass made in America where we import our stuff from overseas and we put it together here. Although there's nothing wrong with that. That's better than having it all done overseas. It's made in America. It's 99.9% American made. And that's something that I'm kind of really interested in. I'm not doing this because of some sort of deal or anything. I'm nobody, right? They'd be throwing their money in the fireplace having me do this shit, right? This is something that I found, I'm interested in. So far, I've been impressed by it. I'm sharing it with everybody else. This isn't, man, you better buy this or you're not the cool kid, or you better get this or else, or what. No, this is, hey, you see a $70 belt and you go, man, I don't know about that. Well, let me tell you about this $70 belt. Not they gave it to me for free, so I've got to do this because if I don't, I'm going to get blacklisted from getting free shit. I really do believe in this. And if I find something that isn't working out, I'm going to tell you. But like I said, the socks I'm still on the fence with the socks. I want to do a wallet video, or I've actually started filming the wallet video, but I need to buy another wallet. They have 2 style wallets. Need to buy another wallet to compare it to, and they're out of stock. So that's why the wallet video hasn't come out. And also, the longer I use this stuff, like I use this every day, I'm getting a chance to try to wear it out, break it, find out what it can do, find out what I already found something about. Don't talk with your hands and hold the wallet. I found that out by mistake. That'll be in the video. Yeah, that was really embarrassing. Boy, the people at the gas station had a blast with me. That's if somebody out there goes, well, he's going to talk about SHOT Show, but look what he's doing. It's entirely different. And I'm not saying I'm better. I'm just being different. He's different for sure. But as far as the Prism belt, the video I did where I was at the factory, that was one of the last things I looked at before they shoved me out the door. And I typically wouldn't like something that was chromatic like that, but I really did like it. And I think a couple people commented on the video that they kind of liked the belt at the end of the video. So unfortunately, I didn't understand what Outcast meant when he told me which one he wanted. This morning, I couldn't figure it out last night either. What the hell is an inset? This morning, I figured out what it was, and I can see the difference. It's the same laser cut in the belt buckle, but it's a different chromatic pattern on there, different prism pattern. It's inside it's on the, I think you tried to explain this to me in a text too, Outcast. It's on the vertical surfaces, not the horizontal, or it's on the horizontal surfaces, not the vertical surfaces on the inside of the pattern. So I'm gonna at some point maybe circle back and take a look at this inset belt buckle, but I want to wait until a few other things come back into stock. That's the problem, is after Christmas they're out of stock on everything. So yeah, any of the videos that I put out there, I'll disclose whether or not I paid for it or not, or if I don't say anything, that means I paid for it. And I'm just going to be brutally honest, but I'd like to see more companies like this where the guy goes, what do you mean they don't make this in America? Oh, well, then I'm going to start finding a way to make it here. What do you mean you don't have a machine that does this? All right, well, I'm going to invent the machine. Well, what do you mean I have to outsource it? No. How do I get this done in-house? And that's what this guy did. And I don't know him personally. I just did the one interview with him and that sort of thing. But that's the American dream, right? That's American entrepreneurship, right?
It is. You're right. Anyway, Squib, you got any shout outs or plugs?
I think I just made a really big plug for a company in Salt Lake City. I'm having a lot of fun testing this stuff out. And this was all something I found by mistake. So, whatever.
Yeah, good for you. I watch them. So, Jason, you got anything?
No. I'll just send people over to the channel called Chris from the 740. New guy's coming around a lot of our chats. He's a local guy for me here too. He just gave away a 600 subscriber video tonight. He gave away a Romeo Red Dot MSR. And then he turned around and gave away a second one, man.
Wow,
nice. So he's excited for his channel to start growing, and he loves the interaction with the people, and he's a pretty good guy. And go check out some of his content. That's Chris from the 740.
Okay, then Kingpin. I guess I've never watched this YouTube channel. I guess he passed away. Please give a shout out to Dangerous Freedom YouTube channel, Ron Carter, rest in peace, 1222. So this
what? Ron died?
Well, that's what he's saying.
Really? That's crazy.
Oh, you know the channel Dangerous Freedom?
Yeah,
I know the channel.
Well, he's got Dangerous
Freedom,
Ron Carter, RIP, and that mean rest in peace?
Yeah.
1222.
Damn, he's got at least one young boy, I think, at his place. So teenager. So and no wife. So it's a tough spot. So sorry to hear that.
Yeah. All right. The man, the myth, the legend, Patriot in the Dark. Any shout outs or plugs?
Oh, after that. Well, thanks for coming. Thanks for having me. I did some shooting over Christmas, and I seen family I hadn't seen in 2 years because they've been scared to show up. And shout out to my little sister that's what 41 this no she'll be 42 this year, but she has cystic fibrosis and wasn't supposed to become a teenager, well, or an old teenager. But after transplants and new medications, those guys are living to be old. So uh, she is old. So just
Okay.
saying hello.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Appreciate you stopping by. All right. I got everybody, I believe. So I want to say thank you to everybody for stopping by in the chat. I really do appreciate it. You know, amazing that you guys do want to hang out here sometimes. I get absolutely, is it humbled? Is that the word, or baffled? I don't know what the word is, but I find it amazing. But anyway, I will be back on Saturday, God willing, and the creek don't rise, on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, the only time zone that matters. I'll be back then. And what you call it? Tomorrow's the anniversary of January 6th. But I just thought I'd mention that. Trump's not having his press conference now. He's gonna address the January 6th, whatever you want to call it.
Because he didn't address it last year. Screw Trump.
He said he's going to address it at his January 15th rally in Arizona. So that's,
he's the biggest shield for himself that I've ever seen. I don't know if you ever read some of them emails from him and his son, and he's got the best marketing campaign for himself and selling himself. And I think that's going to distract a lot of people from making some decisions in the future, but I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's it. I'm calling it. I want to say thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate it. As I said, and I will see you all on Saturday. So good night, everybody.
Bye, Sabrina. Let's go, Brandon.